The preceding program has been pre-recorded.
Quinn and Chris on the Fan.
Tony and I were saying the fans, they've given you a lot of credit for this. I mean, you become kind of a popular figure because you attached yourself to a winning Padre franchise. So
I have absolutely no
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hey, it's Chris Ello, the encyclopedia voice of Chris versus the fans. Listen for yourself to Gwynn and Chris, weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters here of Let's Talk Hookup, right next to the San Diego Landings in Point Loma. Boy, what a great guest we have for you today. From the Mission Belle out of Point Loma Sport Fishing, we have Captain Cameron Cribben. It's going to be a great show talking yellowtail, Coronado Islands, and a lot more. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and 97.3 The Fan and YouTube and Facebook Live.
Everyone has their go-to fishing spot. My spot is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rock Cod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska, it's Kingfisher Charters. Owner Seth Bone and his crew consistently deliver deluxe accommodations, the finest food, world-class fish processing, and top-of-the-line fishing experience. We've literally sent hundreds of our listeners to Kingfisher, and they all can't wait to go back. Most Alaska resorts make big promises, and they don't deliver, or they'll nickel and dime you to drive up the cost, but not Kingfisher. Everything is included. Your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, your gear. Literally all you need to bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. They also have the finest boats and charter captains in Sitka, all for the ultimate value. Take it from me. Book your trip to Kingfisher Charters and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. And at your San Diego County Ford dealers, you can find yours with the Ford F-150. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, the power to choose between gas, hybrid, or all-electric is yours. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Only at your San Diego County Ford dealers, they'll be glad to hook you up.
When you want to catch big bluefin tuna, you need Shimano. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. The Shimano Beastmaster is the pinnacle of electric reels. Shimano's Gigamax motor packs a winding strength up to 250 pounds, ideal for kite fishing and more. Shimano's butterfly flatfall jigs are irresistible to bluefin tuna because they stay in the strike zone longer. Shimano makes a complete line of butterfly flatfall jigs to target your favorite game fish. For all your Shimano needs, visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet. Fisherman's Landing offers half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the Liberty. Many trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Now, I heard you say we had Captain Cameron on. I was stoked about that. I heard you say Mission Belle. We're stoked about that. But those two things had never been together before. Man, it's an exciting show.
Yeah, it's he's taking on basically a historic boat. Good morning, Cameron.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, great.
Man.
Of course, Cameron's been around for a long time. You been working on the Vagabond for how many years?
I've been driving, I think 6 or 7 years now. Previous to that, I ran the San Diego for a little bit, Pacific Dawn, Endeavor, and then 7.5 years on American Angler.
Wow,
Pretty cool, dude.
So 7.5 years on, and so the Pacific Dawn, and then
Yeah, so after the American Angler, while I was there, it was Brian, Sam, and Ray running the boat. So it was time for me to, find a boat to run. And
What a great team to start that procedure off with too,
so lucky.
Yeah, totally.
In the
Best.
the first boat I ever pinheaded or worked on was Mission Belle with Booger.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
The first year he bought it.
this boat that you just bought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you were the pinhead on.
That's so cool.
Full circle. And I just got super lucky in who I got to work for. Booger. I went to the Pacific Queen because it was hard for mom and dad to drop you off at 5:30 every morning. And the Pacific Queen, I could just go for 10 days and get picked up once. And while I was on the Pacific Queen, Brian had actually came back and ran the boat, previous owner. And we were cutting albacore one night, and he said, "You know what my crew's doing?" And no, he goes, "They're in their pajamas in their bunk." And it was just standard procedure, 2 a.m. cutting albacore.
Sure,
and it was, and I was like, "Well,
that sounds great.
That sounds great. Sign me up." And he said, "All right, the day you turn 18, call me." And I did. Cool. Turned 18 in August. And the day after Christmas, I left on a 10-day and spent 7 years.
Holy mackerel. What a great story.
Yeah.
Wow. So where does your relationship with Mike fall in?
Father-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of helped him out in spots. Did you ever work on the boat?
Previous to marrying his daughter, no. We were just neighbors. And Fred Hall, Long Beach.
Okay.
Brian.
For some reason, I don't know why, but I thought you worked with him on the boat.
So I ran the boat. So I had avoided it for a while. Just family.
Avoided it. Yeah.
Just family. Mike is such a good guy.
Oh, the very best.
The best. And I just didn't want to go there. Whether it, now I've been married 10 years and everything's great, but it was like, man, that could be so sticky.
Sure.
And it just turned out to be awesome. And it was a good home, and ran the boat, and great passengers, and the boat's a machine.
Yeah, it is.
And it was awesome. But yeah, Mike's the father-in-law.
Okay. And so how long were you on that boat?
I want to say it was like 6 years.
This was after the American Angler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just solely.
Well, you're not that old, man. It's like how you get on. You started 18, right?
You heard the samurai story. Said when you turn 18, then call me. While currently cutting albacore.
I think I was 14 when the first year Booger bought Mission Belle.
Wow.
That's fun, man.
Yeah. So now, back then, you could work. You just volunteered. That was the idea.
Yeah, I think legally
back then, it was just nobody talked about it.
Yeah. Back then, you didn't talk about
it. It probably still wasn't appropriate, but there was just no repercussion. So you did it because that's what you did.
Yeah.
You loved fishing.
Yeah, I went fishing. My dad bought me a ticket. I was crazy about fishing, and he said, "Oh, I can't go. You go." And we fished kelp patty yellowtail. I thought I was the king. I caught like 5. It was just awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Probably weighed 20 pounds in total, and Tara was a deckhand, and one of the deckhands said, "Hey, why don't you help us scrub?" It's like, "Yeah, let's do this." And when we got back to the dock, Booger handed me his phone number and said, "Anytime you want to come out, you can come out fishing and scrub on the way home." And it was like,
say what now?
Yeah. What? My parents
for free? I get to ride for free?
My parents didn't have the money, to send me out every week. And I was like, oh man, I called them the next weekend.
That's so rad.
Yeah, every once in a while I'd get like $40, just enough to like keep me lured into it. Yeah. And it was awesome.
What a great start. Brian Kiyohara is such a great mentor to so many, and such a great human being too.
Oh, it's Brian and Sam both were, taught us what to do, what not to do, how to be on the boat and off the boat. Brian married Paris and I, preached investments and 401ks, and it's like, I'm 18. I'm not putting any money in a 401k. Are you kidding me? And but he said that's the rule.
That's cool.
That's good.
And now
Yeah.
homeowner and different things like
Own a
that
boat.
because of it. Own a boat.
Own a lobster permit, everything. That's the
Yeah.
other job you have is now you're going to keep the lobster?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where Mission Belle kind of fell in perfectly to it. Owning a long range boat, not that any other boat's not a massive commitment, but a long range boat that operates 200 days a year, it's a monster.
Yeah, it's got to be your life.
It's your life. And I understood that, looking at Mike and looking at Brian and Tim Ekstrom and Randy and all these guys, like you have to be 100% to do this. And I love lobster fishing too. And so Mission Belle, there's a little bit of crossover, but for the most part, it's pretty easy to do both.
When one's real good, the other's a little on the slow side.
Totally.
And how many days a year are you lobstering?
So the seasons, we can fish the first Wednesday till the third Wednesday in March.
First Wednesday of October to the
Yeah,
third
so
Wednesday
October,
of March.
November, it's every day.
Every day.
This time of year, it's a couple days a week.
Okay. And you fish right up to March?
It just depends, price and what's going on.
Right.
If we had a big boat work project on Vagabond, then I'd bring the gear home. Now with the Mission Belle and I keep ripping it open, it seems like the gear's
There's a project.
Yeah, the gear's gonna come home soon.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what's your plan with the Mission Belle?
Yeah, we're so excited, man. I was so happy when I heard that news,
Yeah.
and like what a perfect fit.
Yeah, my wife had asked me like, what next? What are you gonna do? And it was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was hard. And when I ran the San Diego for Booger those couple years, it was like some of the most fun I've had fishing.
Cool.
But it was like Taro had the Liberty, Steve P was Mission Belle, Booger was San Diego.
Yeah.
There wasn't really an opportunity. And why don't you just call Steve? So I called him, and he, let me think about it. And it took him a couple weeks. And he said, let's do this.
That's awesome.
So we're doing it. We're gonna switch. The boat's always left at 6. We're gonna go 5:30, kind of like everybody else. Scheduled to get in at 5, but we all know how the full day is turned. But yeah, every day, here we go.
That's awesome. And what a great platform to do it on. Not only one that you've got history and background with, but I mean, it's such a perfect full day boat. It's low to the water and it's so comfortable. And those guys, I'm sure, took fantastic care of it. I mean, getting to have a boat, with the team of Steve P and Fred, I mean, like what a perfect boat to then take over and take to the next level.
I hadn't been on it since I was 14, and I had called him before, I didn't want to crawl around his boat. And when I got on the boat for the first time, it was like, wow, this is all the bone. It's
These are
here.
the bones you're looking for.
And I went in the engine room, and it's pearl white. It's beautiful. You can tell, all the zip ties go the same way. It was like, this is it.
That's cool.
And it is, 65 by 20, big open galley, deck level.
Super comfortable ride.
Yeah.
What's the builder of the boat?
It's a Rodriguez.
Oh.
And so they were up in
fiberglass hull?
steel
Steel
with the
That's
plywood
why
glass.
it has that great ride, right?
Yeah. Heavy.
Yeah.
Thing's a little bulldog.
That's cool. And I know that, those guys have talked about recent projects just from having Steve and Fred on, nice big giant bait tank and just everything that to stay at the highest level of competitiveness that boat has.
Yeah. I mean, the refrigeration system, it's all integrated into the bait tank. If forever you needed to do it, it unbolts, the whole thing comes off to fix, repair, make bigger or whatever.
Wow.
It's, Steve P is smart.
Yeah, he is.
Just doing a little bit of boat work with them. We go to Marine Exchange and buy sandpaper. I need 80 grit.
Yeah.
Steve has read every fact on different kinds of sandpaper, and at 5 minutes, they're all the same. And this is the best one. It's just like, wow,
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
and in
sure.
every step of the boat, you see that, that experience and
That
knowledge.
dedication.
Yeah.
So what's Steve P going to do?
I don't know, so obviously he still owns Point Loma and Daily Double. I had told him like, hey, the keys are always in it. I will
totally.
never,
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Never want to jump behind the wheel.
And he hemmed and hawed at first and said, yeah, I'm kind of selling it to step back. and now that we've been hanging out, there's some interest.
Oh,
You know,
man,
he's
that's
going to
fun.
run the boat a little bit.
Cool. That's
He
great.
said he wanted a deckhand, but that's not happening. I'll gladly help Steve work
Totally.
deck for Steve Peterson
Yeah, it's
and to
cool.
learn. I mean,
Good
the
for
guy's-
him.
Yeah, he's just, you know, he's doing it.
That's cool.
So when are you going to start running?
We're shooting for March. You know,
March.
permits, you know, getting permits and stuff switched over. You know, being excited. I love boats. I love boat work. I love ripping my lobster boat apart and doing maintenance, the Vagabond. So we've ripped the whole galley out. Gonna redo that. There's a sloth of Furuno boxes showing up.
That's cool.
Oh, it's just putting some new gear in.
Yeah, you know, he had a great sonar on there. But it's kind of like your jig stick, you know, like
Yeah, it's not your sonar.
it's not my sonar,
Right.
and I'm a CH500 guy, and you know, not that his wasn't good. This is just what I like.
Yeah.
So we're putting a new sonar in, new meter, Noble Tech, a bunch of electronics. Just what I'm used to, what we
Yeah.
had on the Vagabond and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
stuff do you know and you know works.
Yeah,
for you.
know where the buttons are.
Yeah, that's
full,
huge.
Full day fishing has just changed so much over the years, and that, you know, whatever 20 years ago, you went to the Coronado Islands and you caught yellowtail, and then you got some bass and some barracuda and bonita, and then you drove home. And now there's like so many facets to it of yellowtailing and sonar fishing and offshore fishing, all the components. What's the thing that gets you the most fired up? I mean, you know that in your next year you're gonna catch yellows and you're gonna catch bluefin and you're also gonna catch cods and bass and all those things. Like, what, you know, I'm sure you're excited for all of it. What's the thing that gets Cameron the most fired up about?
Well, it's
What you got to
yellowtail.
Yellowtail, and especially the year we had this year at the Coronado
Yeah,
Islands,
you know,
right?
it's funny driving to San Diego. It's like I was pretty unfamiliar with the islands. I'd been on long range boats. I knew more
Yeah,
about
sure.
Cedrus and Bonitas than I did the Coronado Islands. And I had asked Booker, like, well, what about anchor? And he goes, oh, we don't do that anymore. You know, because it was sonar ball, run and gun,
Yeah.
and you know, it changes. And now this year was a huge anchor year.
Totally.
But that's the ultimate, coming around the corner of North Island, and ooh, current's laying good. And you know, there they are.
That's so rad.
And it's just, you never know. There's bluefin one day, there's
Yeah.
yellowtail at the pile, you know, there's yellow bird schools in the flats. It's every day-
Yellowfin right outside the islands.
Ooh, let's hope so. Let's bring it on.
Bluefin right outside the islands.
Yeah,
We
you
take
just
that.
you leave the dock every day and you may have an idea, but
Yeah, it's cool.
you really have no idea what it's going to be.
Yeah, but so it's going to be a full day trip
Full day trip.
and
And
limited to how many people?
30
30 people.
people.
Nice. That's a
Jeez,
nice
that's
load on that.
comfortable.
Yeah.
That's the max load.
Max load. That's it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be that's a great move.
Out of Point Loma Sport Fishing, of course. You
Point
can
Loma,
stay
so-
there.
Yep, stay there.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be the same. Just, you know,
And I
new
love what
look
you said
and-
earlier. You're leaving early. You want to go mix it up with everybody.
Oh, I couldn't stand sitting there
Uh,
30 minutes.
I can't imagine totally.
Watching Taro untie. I would go nuts. That is not for me.
That's funny.
Yeah, gotcha. So you're gonna run the boat most of the time during non-lobster season.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be there. You know,
Yeah.
as much
And
as-
so have you assembled your crew?
we're working on it. You know, there's some room for some new young hot shots and studs and just nice people that want to learn how to fish. You know, what a great entry level boat to do it. But
Well, you know everybody. You've been around this business, and you know all the right people that know all the right people, right?
I know it, but then you're going to be a cruise stealer,
Yeah.
which you never know.
That's one thing I've always admired about, we were talking about Frank before the show started, and we always said like, well, we should do this or you agree with that, and he just said, man, in my position, I can't ask anybody. He goes, I just can't. You come to me and ask for an opportunity, I'm going to give it, but like I can't be the guy to go, hey man, let me take this guy.
No,
Yeah, I didn't even think about that factor. It's like that's got to be because everybody's got to live together, right?
yeah,
That's a good way to
Yeah.
say it.
But if somebody calls and says, "Hey, man,
yeah.
I want to change," you
There's-
got to give them an opportunity.
And there's opportunity there.
Yeah, and you've had that you've had those things. You've had those calls, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've been just so, with Frank or, some of the opportunities I've gotten and, to buy a boat and, declined it or it wasn't right for me and stuff. I've been just lucky in the
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah, that's so
That's
cool.
awesome, man.
Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for today. Cameron's a wealth of knowledge about local fishing. We're also going to get into the controversy now that we're dealing with legality of the closure, the potential closure of Point Loma. Cameron's really up on that. So there's a lot to talk about here on Let's Talk Hookup for the next 2 hours here.
Well, and just how often do we get to have such a great friend and a great bud who's done all of that? I mean, you heard that, from overnights and albacores to all the great local fishing to long range fishing and then back to having the full day. It's just going to be a great show with great information and a great friend. And if you want to join us this morning, we want to hear from you. Give us a call to join Let's Talk Hookup at our new number on the Fan. So excited to be there. 833-288-0973. One more time, 833-288-0973 is how you reach us on the phone, on the Fan, for the full 2 hours today on Sunday, or you can text the show. If you want to text in your questions this morning, so popular, the phone keeps dinging off. Lots of great texts. Cameron, clearly a very popular guest. The only way you can text in your questions is through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download. If you don't have it already, it's also the easiest way to listen to Let's Talk Hookup. You can catch all the archive shows, and the only opportunity to text in your questions. When you do, make sure you include your contact info. Just a name and a phone number along with your question is all we need. So in case you win that killer prize, we're going to make sure to get it to you. Speaking of that, what an awesome day to be participating in Let's Talk Hookup, and such a huge thanks to Captain Cameron. One lucky caller or texter, and that's going to be decided by a coin flip at the end of the show, is going to get to go fishing on the Mission Belle. We're giving away a full day trip. One to the callers, one to the texters. So I guess there is no coin flip at the end of the show because there's a winner from each side.
Winner, everybody wins.
So a really cool opportunity, again, going full day fishing on board the Mission Belle at a Point Loma Sport Fishing. If you want to get through, 833-288-0973, or send us those texts on the Let's Talk Hookup app. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls, reading those texts. Lots of great info coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice, on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Hello, this is Captain Mike Totter from Searcher Sport Fishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from 1.5 to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at searchersportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's searchersportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming you aboard.
Hey guys, this is Ali Husseini from Local Knowledge and BD Outdoors. I'm a lucky guy in so many ways, and one thing I'm really grateful for is my little brother Yosef. Yosef is not only a fellow angler, but he's also an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find the ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free no-obligation evaluation online now by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. That's SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address and you'll get a home value report immediately sent to your email. No pressure, no obligations, just answers. Yosef is the SoCal real estate go-to guy. He's helped me and so many of my fellow fishing buddies find what they're looking for in a home. He knows anglers and he understands the real estate market. Not only that, but he's also a really nice guy. How many brothers can you say that about? Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and find out where you stand in the real estate market, and then get with Yosef and find your ultimate home. Again, go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll see you on the water.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Season Sport Fishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-styled metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on AFCO.com.
Gamakatsu is not just all about hooks. There's so much more, including the new Gamakatsu fillet knives. Once you try one, you'll always want more. The new tools are also very special, including the Gamakatsu braid scissors made with ceramic blades so they'll never rust. Check out the new lineup of shirts and hats, and of course, Gamakatsu fishing pliers and boxes are amazing. Gamakatsu, much more than just the best hooks. Get them at your local tackle shop or at gamakatsu.com.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Well, that didn't take long. Phone's absolutely packed solid. Tons of great texts coming through, and like I said, we're sure excited to have Captain Cameron in here. Today's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, we thank Jeff and the fan studios for manning the phones for us, and of course the board. And well, let's just jump right into those phones.
You got it, man. How about
They
we
want to
talk-
go fishing with Cameron,
Yeah,
I guess,
no
right
doubt.
on the Mission Belle.
How about we started off with Steve this morning from San Diego? Good morning, Steve. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. It's on line 2 there.
Ricky, what's happening?
Good morning, Steve.
Hello.
Gotcha, Steve.
Hey, good morning.
What you up to? How you fellas doing this morning?
Good, good.
Good. Hey, it's been a long time coming hearing good stuff like this in the morning where we get to hear Cameron going on the radio. Remember, man, running around, just being a deckhand. It makes you feel good to be able to drive out early in the morning, cold as I am, with my son to a baseball game.
That's
Your
cool.
Low 2 fly fisherman aficionado for Western Outdoor News, Rick Maxa, making me feel old with my gray sideburns, and Cameron, and the way he's just moving on up the line, man. Mission Belle, I'm so proud of you. I'm happy to hear it. I can't wait to get my kids out of the boat with you guys.
Let's do it.
That's rad,
All
Steve.
right.
Right on.
Super, super, Steve. Well, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Nice to hear from you, and good luck with the ball game.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Ricky.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks
Appreciate
for the
it very
call.
much.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I had a fun text come through. It says, "Good morning, guys. What a great show. My question is for Cameron. Of all the fishing mentors which you've had, and your list is certainly long, can you tell us some of the best pieces of fishing advice you've received over the years?" That's from Matt in Apple Valley.
Whew. Whenever you think you have it figured out, you don't. Whenever you wake up and like, oh, this is the water edge, this is where to be, and you had a great day there yesterday, and you wake up and it's like, whew, they're not there. Just to keep learning, be adaptive, and just never think you have it figured out.
Yeah, that's the key.
That's really good.
You know, that's something that Frank Lopresti told me, used to say, and told me a long time ago. He says, you know, when you think you have it figured out, you don't, right?
You don't.
Yeah.
No, it's always changing. Brian, a lot of Loomis stories and things, and you know, if you go to
Loomis was such a mentor for so many, and especially Brian.
Obviously I never worked with him, but you know, through Brian it continues, and it's, you go to enough baseball games, you're going to sit in every seat. I always used to tell him, like, well, I just want to be front row every game. You know? Can't you buy that?
Yeah. Can't we buy the front row every day?
I'm season tickets.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Well, that's a good question. Let's go ahead and jump back on the phone.
You got it. This time we're going to talk to Darren, and Darren's calling us from Menifee this morning. Good morning, Darren. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, Pete and Rick. Question for Captain Cameron. It seems like there's been an influx of younger captains lately. You yourself, and I know there's Captain Max. Can you kind of explain the tradition from the old guard to these new younger guys and how it's going?
You know, we're so lucky, you know, like, I mean, Mark Orno's selling the boat. I mean, I've learned so much from him. That his knowledge of the coast is incredible. And I think it just becomes a time where they see it's time to let go, pass the torch.
Yeah.
For me, I'm super lucky. Like, Steve's still involved, you know, to an extent, obviously, that I can call, hey, what's this switch do?
Right.
Well, why is it like this? Because every boat is so different, and there's tricks on any different boat, you know, whether it's turning the deck hose on or starting the refrigeration. And I think it just becomes a time where, you know, these, you know, I don't want to call them older guys because they're going to not be very happy with
careful
it.
now.
Yeah, no,
Careful
now. Phone's going to start ringing. Or they just see that it's, you know, the time has come, or the opportunity's ready, or the boat's in a great place to pass off to the next generation. And the commitment, you know, you look at these, you know, Steve P, 20 years, Mission Belle, you know, maybe it's waking up at 5 every day to be at the boat. You know, maybe he wants to do something different and finds the right candidate for that, you know, where they feel confident that their legacy is going to go to.
Yeah, no, it's good.
And it's just the perfect spot for it. I mean, it's such a great boat, and I think you're just set to take that operation and give it the justice that it deserves. And that boat's been kicking ass at the Coronado Islands for a long time, and I'm sure he's happy to see it in the hands of somebody that's planning on doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, once it kind of came public, you know, I've been getting so many calls. Sueño, David Ikeda, bought it from Seaforth, you know, and he chuckled like, oh, wait till you see, you know, how much I paid for that boat. And Joel Ralston, Gia Har's driven it. Johnny Glossen's driven it. Booger. And they all say, like, how fun of a boat it is to drive, like how well it
That's
fishes.
great.
So it's cool getting all the pictures and different things about the boat.
That is cool for sure. So so it's a possibility that Steve P is still going to be involved, but he's kind of helping you in the engine room and all the different details on that.
He's just an open book.
Yeah,
You know.
And so how is the machinery on the boat?
It's beautiful.
Is it
I
new engines or
newer?
Okay.
Still tier 2.
Still tier
so
2.
we're still in that limbo whether we're going to be required to repower or
Gotcha.
not. But if we do, they make the same engine just in tier 3, so it's like an
Sweet.
unbolt and bolt back down.
Oh, that's good.
Type repower.
Okay.
But no, it's sound. It's
Yeah.
I mean, the engine room, it's pearly white. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
great.
You can tell a lot by going down an engine room of a boat, right?
That's the first test.
Yeah. Yeah. Look. Yeah. And you had a lot of people like Brian that can do a fine tooth comb. Sam, I don't know. Did you get Sam down to the boat?
Oh yes, he's
Yeah.
waiting for you.
Sam's like, he's like the engineer, right?
Sam says, I'm not doing the boatyard, but as soon as it's in the water, come down and we'll go through it. But careful what you wish for.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, a good text from Mike and Rosemead here. Good morning. Conceivably, what is the furthest distance you can take the Mission Belle in the days you fish? And he says, what do you have below decks for a fish hold?
Distance wise, a full day trip, you can go 50 miles.
Okay.
But we've all been a part of it. It's like you're chasing, and all of a sudden it's 3-4 o'clock and it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
I'm 50 miles.
I'm
from home.
50 miles. And then the ETAs start getting a little bit later.
You didn't have a flight to catch.
Yeah, totally. And then fish hold, it's probably 1 ton size deal. Ours, spray brine, 3-ton chiller, kind of above and below deck, which is kind of cool just because of the amount of people and the chaos. There's not an open hatch on the deck. It's like a bench you could sit on that would pop open and
you can
fish
pop
slide
the fish
right
in
in.
there.
Yeah.
How nice is that? You don't have to pop a hatch or anything like that.
But
everything goes into
absolutely
into RSW.
Absolutely, yeah.
How sweet is that?
Yeah, no, it's fish quality. Coming from long range, it's important and it's going to continue.
Boy, especially in all the boats you worked with, but the Angler and the Vagabond. I mean, those are two pinnacles of fish quality and fish care. Like,
treat it like your grandmother.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then flaying on the boat.
Yep, we're going to cut fish on the boat,
Yeah,
obviously,
nice.
and we're going to do our best to have the best product walk off the boat.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That sounds
Well,
really
I had a fun text come through from John in Rancho San Diego. Says, man, what a great show already. Captain Cameron, I'm really looking forward to fishing again on the Belle this year. When are you going to have your schedule up? Any changes? And you kind of talked about a little bit. He wanted to know about bait tanks and fish holds and all that. So you touched on that a little bit. When's the schedule coming up? And
hoping to have something posted mid-March. I don't want to get in the situation where I get everyone excited and maybe permits haven't all transferred over and stuff like that. But
sure,
we're hoping the boat's going to be ready March 1st. And then as soon as we have confirmation that, we have Mexican license and our SAT permits and all of that will go online.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, hey, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's jump in the phones.
all right, Gary on line 5 from San Diego is giving us a call this morning. Good morning, Gary. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning. I remember fishing with Cameron on one of the Islander trips over to San Clemente Island. That was a great time, and look forward to fishing with him on the Mission Belle. What is he going to be doing? Does he think it's going to be a lot different than the operation that Steve was running?
We're not going to change much. I mean, Steve had a successful business for 20 something years. We're just going to try to make it a little bit nicer and do the best we can to make it better than it, currently is.
I think that's the best part of
and that's a high pinnacle to do because Steve did a great job.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's the best part about this operation that you're now taking over is like you're taking it over at the highest level and it's going to continue to go that way.
I've had a lot of, running the San Diego for Booger. Those are big shoes.
Yeah.
Taking the helm from Mike Lackey, it's like they're hard to compete with.
Yeah.
And Steve's the same thing. We're going to put it, we're all in and I don't know how, but we're going to make it better.
That's cool. No, you will.
Yeah. No, we're going to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. That does free up a line for the first time this morning at 833-288-0973. Jeff's standing by there to man the phones. And you have another good one, huh?
Yeah, it says, morning, guys. I always see lots of boats coming in and out when I'm down there fishing. I've always wondered how many long-range fishing boats versus local boats versus day and a half and everything that the San Diego Everingham Brothers fleet seems to be able to fulfill. And his question was just for Cameron, like what it's like in the summertime with bait ration. And basically, I think the gist of his report was amazing how well that that our fleet is able to stay fully baited up.
Oh, I mean, they're fishermen. So to go out and connect every day, all the time, I wish I could do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's incredible.
It's an impossible task that they somehow, I mean, we're just the only fishery in the world that you just drive to a barge in the bay every day and know that there's going to be bait waiting to go for you.
Yeah, it's easy to snivel and like, oh, these are too big, or maybe they're a little bit weak, or it's fresh and not cured, but it's like, those are first world problems. You drive to a dock and load up a boat. And, Ray and I had the opportunity to go on the EBCO with Joe.
Oh, how cool was that must have been?
And I mean, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
He's sonaring in 8 feet of water, which anyone who's sonared, it's, 8 feet of water, it's hard. There's a lot of different variables and wakes and stuff. And
you're hitting the bottom immediately.
Yeah, immediately. And it was to the point where we didn't see any bait till we got to the IB pier, and it was all pushed into the pier, and he spun the boat around with his wake, pushed the bait up the beach, and we chased it till it was clear for him to set.
Get out of here. Like he physically pushed the bait ball
Yeah,
around.
they just hid right into the pilings. And he goes, oh, I knew they'd be here. And he spun the boat around and started kicking it in and out of gear. And it walked north, and we spun the boat around, and he chased it till it was clear and let it go.
All right.
That's
so
badass.
That is pretty
That's all
good.
that is. That's
yeah.
pretty badass.
Speaking of bait, we have a very good chance this year that it could be chovy, no sardine, and changing some real old world problems or old world good things, right?
Yeah.
You spend your life on the ocean. You're on the ocean almost every day. What's your thought on that? You think that's what's going to happen? And if that does, how does that change life on the Mission Belle for a fisherman?
We're going to adjust some hook sizes,
Yeah.
fish a little bit differently, but they're catching some sardine, maybe not out here in front. It's not available, but I think Jonathan's leaving on an 18-day right now with a full load. So there's some bait up in Newport. Those Pedro guys are catching a little bit. So
a little bit of sardine.
The water's cold here out front.
Yeah. It's cold.
It's
Is
cold.
it warmer outside or up above us? Or
Yeah, like I think Paisano and those guys made bait the other night, and it was 5 degrees warmer
wow.
in front of.
And they made sardine.
Wow.
Okay.
So we're optimistic.
So is that kind of what it is when the water warms up? Maybe the sardine will kind of swim back down.
That's just my captain excuse of the day. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay. All right. So, okay. What if though?
Yeah.
That's the what if scenario. What if it is chovy? Are we still going to catch yellowtail? Are we still going to catch
Absolutely.
tuna?
And how many times have we seen yellowtail swirling on anchovy?
Yeah.
Balls? Foamer bluefin, anchovy.
You just
balls.
have to adjust tackle.
We just got to
right?
adjust
Hook size, tackle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And learn how to once again how to hook a chovy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some collar hooking going on.
Yeah.
8 and 9 foot glass rods, and
yeah,
you dust off your Newell 220s.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and jump back in the phones, Rick.
You got it, man. We're gonna talk to Alex. Alex is calling us from San Carlos this morning. Good morning, Alex. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was curious, with all this anchovy popping up, do we think that we're going to start seeing some albacore here in the next couple of years? What's
The A word.
Yeah. Well, Pete said it was going to
Oh,
happen
absolutely.
this year.
It's going to happen. Yeah. It's supposed to happen last year.
Yeah.
Too. Got one, right?
Pete has been predicting the return of the albacore every year, and now it's been long enough that everyone has since quit doing that. So he's remained steady so that when it does happen, he was the guy that called it. Yeah.
That was me,
2025
right?
is the
Yeah.
year of the albacore. He's the only guy left saying it. He'll be the one.
It's the Tommy Rothery theory.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It goes back to we don't know anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's albacore. They've eluded us, and it hasn't been around. But there were so many times we'd catch 20 albacore. Granted, we would have banner days where it was the whole fleet catching limits, and you'd look at the Western Outdoor News, and it would be fleet-wide limits and all of that. But man, the fishing we've had the last couple of years, it's like great if they come, but I'll stay on this course.
Yeah. You're good with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what you said was very important. You said, we don't really know anything, nor do the scientists. And that brings up the thought of this whole craziness of wanting to close the entire Point Loma area. And you were telling me it stretches from 3 miles outside the tip of the Point Loma all the way down to the OB Pier.
Yeah, the projected closure it's like 15 square miles, and it runs from the current closure line all the way out to the 3 mile line and up towards the OB Pier and into the beach. I mean, it's the entirety.
It's Point Loma.
It's Point Loma.
Yeah,
it's
the whole thing.
At some of these meetings, I keep using the term like, this isn't an MPA. This is a coastal closure.
Yeah,
like it's whether you want to commercial fish lobster, commercially dive sea urchins, or go fishing with Fred and catch calico bass with your kid and eat a cheeseburger. It's done.
Yeah.
But there's a good fight. There's Ken Franke he's a legend.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's so well versed in that whole world. And there's a lobster association. There's that all waters. There's a pretty good fight. And I think we're going to be okay. This next year is kind of where we're going to start the process of bin 2.
Now, you guys have done something brilliant, and that is get the people that are going to make these decisions out on the water to see exactly what you do.
Yeah, I mean, these commissioners, which it inevitably comes down to a vote of 5 for these petitions, and we've just invited them all to come down and see what it is.
That was the best move ever. Totally.
See my, baby Jack, 4 years old, loves to come down to the dock when he gets off of school and touch lobsters and go fishing with dad. And, I'm a partner in Tunaville Market and Grocery, and it's like, it's just local and it's for the people of the community. And this is a huge impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you did something brilliant. You sent one of a picture of your 4-year-old son in slickers to one of the commissioners to just see, this is the next generation. This is who you're going to hurt.
Because truly the commissioners, granted they're fancy and hired by governors and stuff like that, but they're moms and dads and have kids and stuff too. And it's,
this is the reality.
This is the reality.
Yeah.
If you walked out of a grocery store in New York and somebody said, "Hey, Rick, you want to save the California kelp bed?" Yeah, sure, I'll sign.
Totally.
But what you're not seeing is all the families that are affected.
Sure.
And
that are participating in a highly regulated, clean fishery. Like it's just not, it's people wanting to close things for the sake of them being closed.
And I feel that the department, sees it, that, they're scientists for DFG that have highly worked on making lobster sustainable or making the calico bass a little bit bigger and creating a strong fishery. So they've put a lot of work into this. So to say that we're depleting it, it's kind of saying they didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be okay, but man, any letters,
you gotta constantly be on it though.
Yeah.
Because they're sneaky.
I fly to Sacramento just about every month here the last few months and sit at the meetings because it's sneaky.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, Captain Frank Lopresti from the Royal Polaris is on the line. Good morning, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
It's Frank again. I got cut off somehow.
Yeah, we got you now.
Good morning, Frank.
Hey, good morning. I hear all these questions about what Cameron's going to do different. Let me just say that Cameron's going to be a fierce competitor. He sees fish well. He is a fisherman, tried and true, from fishing lobster to fishing long range. This kid's going to do outstanding, and he has a love of what he does. He's just going to be outstanding and a tremendous asset to the industry. Okay.
I appreciate that, Frank.
That's cool. Well, that's coming from the man himself that has set many in the motion here in the sport fishing industry. Yeah, for sure. Well, so speaking of fishing, RP is off and running again on the 18-day, huh?
I'm going to be leaving here in a few minutes. Yes.
All right, and they're headed down south to go continue what Jonathan did before. And Jonathan's running the trip again.
Oh yeah, yep. He's going to be on all the long trips.
Wow, that's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, well, Frank, you have high hopes, I know, for Cameron and the Mission Belle, and And what's your thought? Are we going to see chovy this summer? Are we going to be fishing chovy, or are we going to be fishing sardine?
You know, Pete, last year I predicted that yellowfin coming by the late June. I'm done predicting anything.
Yeah, it's safer that way, right?
You know, I've been saying for 20 years now, people are going to have to learn how to fish a chovy. Well, it's 20 years later and they still don't have to learn how to fish a chovy. So I'm not saying anything anymore.
Well, Frank, 30 years ago on this program, you used to talk about being in your backyard with a clothespin and practicing your cast with an anchovy. So those days could come back.
That wasn't me. That was my son practicing when he was about 6.
Yeah. All right. But I remember you said that was a good way to do it.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Something that's similar to the weight. It's just amazing, you know. God, I can tell you, even on my pond at the ranch, I can go ahead and take a fly now. I finally bought a spinning outfit, Pete, a little one with 4-pound test, and I can take a fly now with that spinning reel and cast it 20 to 25 feet. It's pretty amazing. So much fun, Pete.
That's
okay?
cool.
Spinning reel.
I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah, I have to get
Never
photos of
thought
that.
I'd see the day.
Yeah. Hey, Frank.
The first one I ever bought in my life, Pete.
Well, that's cool. Well, hey, great to hear from you, Frank, and we're excited about Cameron and the Mission Belle for sure out of Point Loma Sport Fishing, and thanks for helping so many people get started.
You bet, Pete. See you later.
All right, thanks for the call this morning.
Pretty kind words. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more texts. We're going to check in with the catch report, find out what's biting up and down the beach and more. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California Sport Fishing Boys on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live at 97.3 The Fan.
The best just got better. Shimano is proud to introduce the all-new Talica 20A and 25A reels. The Talica series is Shimano's flagship 2-speed lever drag reel. It sits at the very pinnacle of the offshore world. The Shimano's Talica success is driven by its durability and spec attributes, allowing the series to differentiate from other lever drag reels within the market. The Talica is built around a cold forged machined aluminum one-piece frame. The all-new Talica 20A and 25A now boasts Infinity Drive. Infinity Drive employs 2 drag washers housed in the side of the reel, allowing for an ultra-smooth, powerful drag system, while at the same time increasing winding power under a load as much as 40%. There's also a new lower low gear. If your utmost concern is performance without compromise, Talica 20A and 25A are the reels for you. Available now at your local Shimano dealer. This year, make reliable boating your resolution and back it with exhilarating deals with a new Yamaha outboard during Yamaha's New Year, New Reliability sales event. From now until March 31st, 2025, purchase a new eligible Yamaha 450 to 30 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of coverage protection. Looking to hit the water with lower horsepower? There's a deal for you too. Purchase a new Yamaha 25 to 2.5 horsepower outboard and receive up to $200 in dealer credit toward the purchase of additional goods and services. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit your local Yamaha dealer today. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2025, subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models exclude 24-month Yamaha extended service added to a 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealer for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus The new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay. For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half day and full day trips daily. Perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit pointlomasportfishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fishing, great stuff going on. And as promised, man, it is time for the Catch Board today. That's sponsored in part by Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. It is the place to fill up for your car, your truck, and most importantly, your trailer boat. With the lowest in gas and diesel prices, did you know that Summit also is the best price and the lowest prices on ice and snacks for your trip? Just 25 cents for your first 5-pound bag of ice, or $3.99 for 25 pounds. They also have the lowest prices on a car wash. Right now, you can get it's only $6.
They have the new car wash up now.
How cool is that?
$6 for a car wash.
That's it, man. Wash your car at Summit for just $6. Plus, you get 100 pounds of free ice with a 35-gallon fill. Dozens of great snacks and for just 89 cents and so much more at Summit Gasoline. Free ice for Let's Talk Hookup listeners and always the lowest prices at gas at the San Diego Sports Arena. With that, we're going to find out what's biting and head up to Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Captain Brian Woolley's on the line. What's up, Woolley?
Hey, good morning, guys. Good stuff this morning.
Having fun.
Just, cranking through another week up here. You know, it was pretty mellow, as you'd imagine, for, you know, where we're at here in January. Our water temps 55 to 57 degrees, kind of depending on, you know, a little bit of wind and whatever we had this week. But the half-day guys fished a lot of the inside shallow bottom or shallow hard bottom zones this week for their action. Live anchovies, what we have for bait right now, which seems to be the case pretty much everywhere. So we did get some bites on some of that stuff. We did see a little bit of fly line calico bass action a day or two this week as well when things lined up and things were okay condition-wise, which was kind of good to see. But for the most part, it's been sinker-style fishing for the half-day guys with some whitefish, sheephead, catch and release kind of stuff, and that mixed bass. 3/4-day trips, we've been out there targeting that sculpin with some whitefish and sand depths kind of in the mix. Our loads have been light during the week, so it's been pretty easy to, you know, kind of spread out and do what you need to do to catch some of those guys. Setups that incorporated a rubber lure fished well, and we've seen kind of resurgence of the guys pulling out those Lucanus jigs as well that they've had in their boxes. Those things are killers with the sculpin and work perfect. But we did also, like I said, see some whitefish and sand dabs as some other options for those guys. And I'll tell you, too, we're fishing this halibut derby right now. We saw some good encouraging sign on that front compared to what we, you know, endured and had to cancel last year. Quite a bit of smaller fish has kind of filtered into the shallows as that bait, that anchovy's been moving around a lot. Friday's derby trip, for example, they had 5 legal fish and they released another 20+ short fish. So it's a good sign in the right areas. Still, it's early, but, you know, again, it's not all legal fish, but just seeing that stuff in and around has been a good sign for those halibut anglers. So we're stoked on that movement as well in that area. And one day we had a guy catch a salmon out while we were fishing that sculpin too. So with all that anchovy, there's just all kinds of weird stuff swimming around and moving around in it. So it bodes well. We're looking forward to another good week out here. If you guys want to hop on a trip, our number here, 949-496-5794. Of course, you can hit us on the web too at danawharf.com.
Awesome, man. Local half-day, 3/4-day boat salmon is still like my holy grail fish.
Legendary.
Like that's the one. I wanted that more than anything when I was a kid. See one of those things come up in the catch board, just the coolest. Willie, certainly sounds like some good fishing to be had and some good fish tacos to bring home and another great stretch of weather coming our way. Seems like a great time to go fishing out of Dana Wharf.
Yep, just mellow week, mellow load. So, you know, if you're looking for an excuse to get on the water, you know, call, make a reservation, and then we'll get you out there this week.
Awesome, bro. Appreciate it very much, Willie. Look forward to talking to you next week.
Same. All right, guys. Have a great week. See ya.
Thanks, bro.
Sounds
Appreciate
cool.
that.
Hey, while we're waiting for our cadet, we're going to actually get a bonus report after the top of the hour from Captain Brandon Hayward. So
All right.
he's got a little, whenever Brandon calls, they're biting.
Or he's got something cool
Or he's
up
got
his
something
sleeve.
going
Yeah.
on. Yeah. Something going on, like some kind of a lobster or lobster and sea bass program going on at Catalina.
Always something fun.
Yeah. It's always something fun. And then, of course, we'll probably hear from Gunny Gunnerspun. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and jump into the phones, Rick.
You got it. Well, the phones are definitely still packed up, and we're going to talk to John on line 4. He's calling us from Dallas. Good morning, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. I'm excited. I'm here in Texas right now. It's pretty cold. First of the month, I'm heading to Cali to take my granddaughter fishing. So my question is, what are they catching right now?
And how long is the trip that you're going to take your granddaughter on, John? I'm sorry. Well, at least in terms of what's going on locally right now, if that were the case with, with us being in the rockfish closure, just like Willie was talking about, there's been some good bass fishing and there's some good sculpin. And basically what's on the list right now, Cameron, would be anything outside of rockfish. So you can fish
unless you fish in Mexico.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Mission Belle can fish in Mexico.
Absolutely.
Yeah. San Diego can fish in Mexico. Liberty can fish in Mexico.
Yeah.
So you can catch rockfish.
Sure.
Yeah.
But half day wise, probably sculpin, whitefish, sand bass. I know the Dolphins doing their halibut derby one day a week. There's some halibut fishing to be had. So again, you stretch these nice days together like this and good conditions, and especially have an anchovy, the receiver. I mean, there's been some great days on bass fishing, and there's been some really good sculpin scores up and down. This time of year, you just you get some consistency in the weather for a few days. There's plenty of good wintertime fishing.
Daily double and the Dolphin have both been running steadily every day, so they're obviously catching fish, right?
Yeah, no, there's some good bass fishing.
You seeing it?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
seen them out there.
Yeah, for sure. Because you're out there all the time.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in the Point Loma kelp.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to say, speaking of point, thanks a lot for the call, John. One thing I wanted to mention about the Point Loma kelp, another thing that save the Point Loma kelp beds. Well, what happens when these guys aren't picking all those urchins up? The Point Loma kelp beds are going to be gone.
Yeah, I mean you're taking a massive kelp eating predator and allowing no take. It's it's Mother Nature. We've seen years where there's so much kelp where you anchor up to surf, it's full of kelp. And,
right.
This last Christmas swell we had, we went out the next day and the entire kelp bed was in the bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you take 15-foot waves at 19 seconds.
Yeah.
Nothing's hanging on.
Yeah.
It
blows it all out.
Yeah.
Blowing it out.
That's where, what is science?
Yeah.
What are we taking?
Sure.
Mother Nature.
She corrects herself when she wants to.
Totally.
For sure.
That's cool. All right. Well, hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. Another full hour with great info. We're going to finish off with the catcher board. More great information with Cameron and more. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
It may be winter in Southern California, but those of us who live here know it's a great time of year to go fishing, and certainly not time to put your gear away. This is Ben, and you will see me at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay, the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. Food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. This is the ideal time for bay bass fishing, and I get the inside scoop from Johnny. Heck, he will even rent you one of our killer blue skiffs. This is also a good time to go work on your reels, and Doug is the man for that job. If big largemouth bass are your bag, nothing beats East County Bait and Tackle. They have all the right stuff and live bait for a perfect day on the lake. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is super cool too, for both freshwater and saltwater tackle. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is on Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Launch Ramp in Mission Bay. Check danalanding.com for more details.
Hey, it's time for the 30-second Power Pro seminar. Here's the hot tip for those of us that like to fish with small reels for big fish.
Fill your spools with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro. That means you're going to get more line on that small reel. Plus, you can fly line your bait more effectively. Here's another tip about Power Pro Max Quattro. Your casting distance will increase in addition to increasing your spool capacity. So downsize your tackle and use Power Pro Max Quattro. Check powerpro.com for more information.
You know, whether you're going fishing, diving, or just having fun on the water, there's nothing more worth doing than messing around in boats. So let me ask you, are you ready to upgrade your ride? Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland is your exclusive Western U.S. dealer for Steiger Craft. Created for inshore and offshore waters and laid out with the serious fisherman in mind, Steiger Craft has built a solid reputation for performance and excellent rough water handling. If adventure on the water is what you live for, now's the time to invest in your passion. Call Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland at 510-437-1444. To look at the whole fleet of Steiger Craft online, go to steigercraft.com. Now's the time for a rugged, reliable, and fast Steiger Craft from Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast Series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG Series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. So, if you want your tackle to be the state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar. Available at fine tackle dealers.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Tony Gwynn Jr. here. Come for the sports talk, stay for the antics. Keep up with Gwynn and Chris weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.3 The Fan.
An Odyssey Sports Station. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray, Rock Cod, Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan. I'm Pete Gray with Rock God, Rick Maxa in the world headquarters of San Diego. Beautiful day here in San Diego. I know everybody else in the country seems to be freezing their butts off. We're not.
Oh,
it's cold, though. It's like 55. It's cold.
We did that little stretch. Dallas and I went to Tennessee for New Year's and checked out Nashville and hung out with hung out with some family. And like, it was the coldest I've ever been in my entire life. Like, my bones were cold.
Cold is cold.
And like, I love, we were joking about today, like, I want this type of cold where I'm like, oh, it's cold out here. Let me put on a super light flannel. Like, okay, I'm perfectly regulated again. Let's go.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Well, we have Cameron Cribben from the Mission Belle here. It's hard to say, Mission Belle, because he's been in so many places and does so many things. He's a part of the San Diego sport fishing scene here. Just purchased the Mission Belle, and we're talking about fishing Coronado Islands, fishing offshore, and just having a great time on one of the legendary boats of Southern California for sure. And we're giving away a great prize.
Yeah,
too.
a couple
Thanks
of
to
them,
Cameron.
man. How cool is that? 2 lucky winners at the end of the show today. One from the caller side, and then also one from the texter side are going to get to go fishing with Captain Cameron and enjoy that brand new Mission Belle and a great opportunity to come fishing on such a great rig with a brand new owner. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And we've been talking about it all morning, all the excitement that's about to happen when the show gets rolling here, hopefully in March, knock on wood. And if you want to join us this morning, get an opportunity at winning that great prize, or better yet, just your chance to talk to Captain Cameron, give us a call at 833-288-2000. 833-288-0973. Again, new numbers here now that we're so stoked to be back with the fan family. 833-288-0973 is how you reach us on the phones.
One line open.
You got it, man. And it's been solid all morning.
Yeah.
We lost one during the break there. So a great a first free opportunity in quite some time. Also, you can send us a text. If you got a text question for Captain Cameron, just send it through the text that's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. Again, we say it's a free download, easiest way to listen to all the archive shows. And you can text in your question and have a shot at winning that great trip on such a killer new boat.
Yeah, for sure. Let's continue our catch report. Our surf guru himself, Gundy Gunderson's on the line. Good morning, Gundy.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, great to hear from you.
Those fur-lined flip-flops didn't work in Tennessee.
Dude, I was so ill prepared for that. We looked at the weather forecast, and it was like highs in the 50s and lows in like the low 30s. I'm like, well, that's not far out from home. I live in Lakeside. It got down to like the high 30s and into the 60s. Like, it's only a 10-degree difference. I'll be fine. Dude, it's a different world. It's a different world.
Yeah.
Frozen.
Well,
Fun.
today I call with a heavy heart. I don't know how long I've been doing the show, Pete. Over 20 years probably. And one of my best contributors was Ginny Wiley from Wiley's Bait and Tackle Shop. And I'm sure we're all aware of what happened there. And just a tough break for her. She's such a wonderful lady. Bill and Ruth Wiley established this shop in 1946.
Jeez.
It was thought to be the oldest tackle shop in the state of California.
Wow.
Her grandfather started it. She was third generation. And, over the years, the reputation of the shop, and it's been such a part of the community. If you've ever been there, it's a little shack on the side of the road. The Topanga Historical Society has a picture of the shack in 1946 when it was first established, and it's maybe 12 by 15 feet, and it's got rods leaning on it. It's a classic photo if you have a chance to go and look at that. And some great actors from Malibu and stuff: John Wayne, Humphrey Bogart, Johnny Weissmuller, Bing Crosby. More recently, Chef Gordon Ramsay, Jimmy Fallon was there. It's just such an iconic place. It was famous for the perch derbies. And in the heyday, the 50s and 60s, they got over 300 anglers participating in a derby, if you could believe that. The shop was open all night with newspaper, wrapping bait, mussel, squid, clams, the whole deal. And then all the anglers would disperse, and they'd have to be back by like a 3 o'clock way on Saturday. So it was quite an event, A 3-pound, 4-ounce barred perch was hanging on the wall there, caught by the legendary surf angler. It was just an incredible place. So, we
so
really
sad to
feel
lose
for her.
that. Yeah, and
There's
boy,
a
I saw the
GoFundMe page, guys, and her address is on. You can find her address. A little note. She'd appreciate, her a memory. She's old school lady, and she needs a little of our help right now.
So how do we contact that, Gundy?
If you just Google Wiley's, and there's her GoFundMe page is on there. One of her close customers said that he spoke to her, and she does want to rebuild, but just already the outpouring from the fishing community has been overwhelming for her. And I think it's great that we continue to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And boy, seeing the pictures of the Palisades fire and saw the Wiley sign in the background of those photos as you drive down PCH, just heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking.
It is.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been there, and I'm proof that, you come through on the other side, but there is a dark time, and seeing the looks on those folks' face brings back some rough memories,
Yeah, no doubt, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's a nice tribute to Wiley's Bait and Tackle. Hopefully they're going to come back and rebuild and be back on PCH once again up in that Topanga area.
And her reports have been the best, Pete. We've been using them for years.
Yeah, well, we'll look forward to some more in the future, Gundy, and thanks for that.
Yeah,
nice
I'll keep
tribute.
everyone posted, and we'll get back to surf fishing next week.
All right, but
I like it, Gundy.
use that GoFundMe page, Wiley's Bait and Tackle, and send some love that way for sure. Thanks.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good week.
Thanks,
You too, buddy.
Gundy.
Appreciate that.
All right.
All right, that's going to wrap up our catch report. Hey, while they last, pick up your copy of the 2025 CCA Sport Fishing Calendar. You can get them at Fisherman's Landing, Seaforth Landing, Dana Landing, Point Loma Sport Fishing, or your favorite tackle shop. By supporting CCA, you're working to protect the rights of all California anglers.
Yeah, for sure. What the lots of good stuff here, and I have a good text too. We got lots of phone calls calling in, and this one's from Tony in Hesperia. Good morning. Everyone loves offshore tuna fishing, but there are times that you want to do something different. Is the Mission Belle primary location going to be the Coronados? I'd like to add some day trips for yellowtail into the rotation this year.
We're just gonna whatever's best. Whether it's whatever the best opportunity to have a good day of
For a
fishing
full day of
for a
trip.
full day.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Coronado Islands or we're offshore.
Could be the 9 Mile Bank. It could be 50 miles out.
Yeah,
right.
All those things
Could be kelp patty yellows.
Yeah, any just the best opportunity for people to have a good time.
Cool
is kind of the plan.
Yeah,
That's a very good goal.
Yeah, and this year we saw that amazing Coronado Island yellowtail fishing. We hope we get that back, and there's certainly some good signal that will be there, but you never know, right?
Yeah, and that's the whole goal. With the Mission Belle, it's so many passengers I've fished with long range fishing. I just want them to know that if families in town or something like that, and maybe they're not ready to go on a 3 or a 5 day trip, it's like they can come experience the same experience they do on these bigger boats for the day.
We get people so often talk about, hey, I'm wanting to introduce my kids to it. I'm wanting to introduce my family to it. Like, just your nature and personality, and you're the dad of a young son, like that would just be like the first person I would send somebody if they're wanting to introduce their kid fishing to. Like, Cameron just has that. You got it. Like, especially the introductory part of whether it be a kid or somebody who's an adult that's getting into it. Like,
yeah, just a safe place, safe,
Totally.
fun, no egos, just a nice experience. But for the pros, you're gonna
go mix it up.
We're gonna go mix it
I
up.
love it. One of my favorite things was from way back in the Brian and Sam days, and I think it was even back when they were the Queen, but their quote was like one of my favorite, and they just, obviously, those guys, they work with everybody so closely, and I think it was Sam who said, we want everybody in the fleet to be successful, and we want everybody in the fleet to catch fish, as long as we catch one more. As long as we get one more than everybody else. That's exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I want everybody to do good, as long as I do better by at least one more.
For sure. All right, well, let's jump into those jam-packed phones, Rick.
You got it. How about this time we talk to Dennis? He's calling us from San Diego this morning. Hey, Dennis, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hello, everybody. Long time no here. Hope everyone's having a good new year. It's starting out good for me. But anyway, I got a question that's been bothering me for the longest time. Is when I go out, I see these big round fish that float on the surface. Some people call them moonfish. Some people call them sunfish. Some people call them opa. How do you catch them, and can you eat them? What's the correct name?
Well, are you talking about the big silver ones that you see floating on the surface that sometimes wave at you, or the killer pink and purple ones? Because I think your description had a couple of fish in there.
Yeah, they're light. They're lighter color. I haven't gotten close enough to see them.
Sunfish.
What the exact color they are. But
Give us a rundown on the mola, Cameron.
Sonar breakers. They're just big, prehistoric,
big, dumb, happy fish.
Yeah, and I don't think I think they eat kelp. I don't know if they eat bait fish and stuff like that, but they're just part of Mother Nature, bobbing around. And the last few years, there's been a spawn of these little ones. They're cute. They're like a frying pan size.
Yeah.
And you see them jumping all over the place and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wonder what it's some kind of cycle.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
Sonar breaker, or just like heart attack starter when you're burning your eyeballs trying to find a swordfish or a marlin or whatever it is. Like, I mean, it's a heart attack creator. Like, oh, I got one. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, we're good. False alarm.
That quick wave.
Yeah, for sure.
So you don't actually catch them and eat them?
No, I think it would be pretty mushy because they eat jellyfish.
Yeah, I think,
yeah.
Wind sailors, all that.
Yeah, and I think they'd be full of stuff.
Because the ones I've seen are huge.
Yeah, there's some big ones out there. Yeah, you said sonar breakers. If you hit them, you could break your sonar.
Yeah, because the sonar sits below
Right.
the hull. So
Yeah,
I
not
never
good.
thought about having to deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. That's
yeah,
well,
for sure.
Well, hey, we had a
Thanks a lot for the call.
We had a very quick.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Dennis. We had a very quick text that said, "Man, I'm just so happy for you, Cameron. Congratulations!" And that was from our buddy John Todd at CalStar.
Oh, great!
John listening this morning, and
nice to hear from John.
We used to do a Pacific Queen CalStar 2-day. You know, old school, leave at night, get home 2 days later at night with CalStar.
Really?
And I've been so spoiled by John. Anytime there's a new jig stick or something that comes out, they magically appear at the tackle shop with my name. So we hope to see him fishing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, if those of you that may have missed yesterday's show, you definitely want to grab that show on the Let's Talk Hookup app or archives on our website, letstalkhookup.com, because we talked a lot about CalStar with Doug Curran, and Doug and Rick visited the CalStar yesterday with the new ownership and the new program up there. John's going to be running the show, continuing to run the show, and they're just going to get bigger and better than ever.
Yeah, if you didn't catch it, listen to it. It's a fun show. And if you didn't hear it, it was the best thing that could have ever happened to CalStar. You know, we were all so fearful that somebody's going to buy it and take it overseas, and it wasn't. It's just an enthusiastic person who's from our community who knows the value of the best American-made West Coast rod, and they're just going to keep things the same with the exception of new machinery and new money and new influence. And hey, John's been building the best rod for the last 20 years. Like, let's make sure he's got the ability to do that better than ever, and that's exactly what it is. And we are so pumped about the future of CalStar.
So awesome. For sure.
Yeah,
it's
great
really
news.
State-of-the-art rods.
That's it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Pumped about it. Hey, we're going to continue on with the fun in our catch report. We got a little bonus. Brandon Hayward from Bite Sport Fishing is on the line. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning, Brandon.
Good morning.
Stoked to hear from you.
Good morning. Yeah, same. Hey, I was listening earlier. Cameron, congrats on the boat, man.
Thank you.
That's exciting. And I worked with Cameron on the Queen in what I think was 2004. Great big albacore, and you were probably in your teens or something then, man.
Yeah, I was still in high school.
Wow.
fun times and a fun season.
Yeah.
Late nights.
Where was that? Was that here?
Fish cutting.
2004?
On the Queen.
2004 on the Pacific Queen. Yeah.
I could never go to Morro Bay because it was October, so I had to go to school. I begged my mom, but it wasn't allowed.
Not going to happen.
You guys have a few late nights at the fillet table?
Go ahead, Cam.
Oh no, I was concurring with the late nights on that fillet table.
Wild, different times. I remember that year was giant albacore, and in the fall we got some big eye. That was really fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
Anyways, I was just calling with a little self-fulfilling call here. We're starting our winter program. You know, we run year round. I feel like the small boat charter fleet has kind of done a good job of pricing a lot of people out as costs have gone up, and small boats have mirrored the pricing of a sport boat. But in building that Mexicat costs less to operate, and I'm offering the same pricing as when I first started season 1.
Wow.
So if anyone wants to come over to Catalina, we're doing 2 types of trips: an early morning trip, strictly sea bass, and then an afternoon combo trip where we do the sea bass thing and we do the lobster thing. Sorry, I'm on the train right now. So if anyone wants to jump that, reach out. It's easy to find. Our first trip we went over there, it wasn't the greatest lobstering. It was the full moon, and I hadn't done it at all this year, so it took us a little while to get on them and find the right depth. I felt like if I went back the next night, I would have had a good trip. Okay.
Wow, that sounds good. And yesterday on Let's Talk Hookup, if you again, you got to hear the archive of the show from Mark Wish's report. Sea bass are biting.
There was good fishing there that was kept under wraps in December, and there's some fish around now. The water there is plenty warm enough and good, whereas the coast is kind of frozen at that 54, 56, like that. It's 59 over there. And stable. Stability is the big thing. You can get bit in 58 if it's stable for a couple weeks and all that. So yeah, I think we have a chance there, and it's a trip that's more than half the price of what I usually charge for like a full day trip. You know?
So how much would that be, Brandon?
It's $390, and we're open on the 26th, which is next Sunday, and the 31st, which is the 31st, which is a Friday. Excuse me.
Friday and a Monday, the 31st. And so this would be, so explain the trip again for $390 per person, right? And how many people max?
Yep. We take 4.
Okay.
We take 4, and I run it kind of like a double 3/4 day, I guess. We leave very early in the morning, fish sea bass. We come back around 2, unload the people, and then the afternoon group gets on and we do the sea bass thing into the dark and get back around midnight. So if you don't want to do lobster, you come out early in the morning. If you want the combo, you come out, 3 o'clock. We do it like that.
You do sea bass, you do fishing, sea bass, and lobster. And where are you leaving from?
We're leaving from Long Beach. It's the closest place to the island, so it helps on fuel costs and all that other stuff. And when people book their trips, I'll drop them a pin where to meet us in Long Beach. How that program goes.
Sweet. So how does one book a trip?
Yeah, you can just give me a call 949-212-0719, and I still lean very hard on the Instagrams for booking. So if you jump on our Instagram site, you can DM me or check out pictures and all that jazz. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What's the Instagram?
Bite_sport fishing, and the trips for January are the 26th, which is next Sunday, a week from today, and Friday the 31st. Okay.
And Bite Sport Fishing is BIGHT for the Southern California
like
bite.
the Southern California bite, or the Capistrano bite.
There it is.
Gotcha, Brandon.
And the
All
beef
right.
bite.
Well, thanks
Cool.
for that. I appreciate that. Good luck with
Yeah.
those trips. It sounds like super fun. I've done it with Brandon. The lobster sea bass thing is so much fun.
It's a fun way to break up our winter, and the price is right.
Yeah, it is. $3.90, and that Mexicat is cool.
Yeah, that's a great
That's a
move.
sweet ride. Did you
Super
see that
cool.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sweet ride and nice catamaran, twin screw.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the most beautiful boat on the water, but it's definitely the most functional boat on the water.
I would say absolutely for sure.
Smart move.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Brandon. Nice
All
to
right,
hear
thanks.
from you.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. Congrats again. Bye.
Bite Sport
See you, Brandon.
Fishing. Yeah, it's so cool.
All right. Hey, I had a great text come through from Kaylee in Chula Vista. Cameron, what's the best all-around quiver of rods someone should have to be prepared for all things on a full-day trip?
Whew. Man, it's so different with the bluefin. Before you could just go fishing with your 30-pound fly line setup, and
Yeah.
but I would say a 30-pound fly line rod, 40, 50 pounds, something you could either fish rockfish with or yo-yo jig would be your safest bet for sure.
Okay.
Something you can fly line, fish heavy, and
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, if it's, the bigger bluefin, then it's 80 pound and stuff like that. But
Now last year at the Coronado Islands, that yellow was big.
it was.
And there were lots of hungry sea lions on it.
yeah.
So you put 20-pound in the water, you had a very slim chance of catching that fish.
It's hard.
Versus you put 30-pound. Of course, you got bit better, but you put 30-pound in, you had a lot better chance.
Yeah,
catch
that's the
fish,
ultimate
right?
debate. Someone hooks it on 20 pound and they're
Sure.
like, well, I'm getting bites. It's like, bites are great.
Yeah.
But, how many?
you're only halfway there.
You're only halfway there.
Yeah.
I'd rather.
And the heartbreak is watching that sea lion grab your
Oh,
fish
it's
right
terrible.
under the boat. They're
Yeah.
so smart.
Yeah, they let you get tired and then they get
Oh
it.
yeah. They sit like right under the boat, just waiting for the gaff to come out. And I think they see the shine of the gaff or something. I don't know.
They're so smart.
They are so smart.
The thing that we have going for us in this day and age is like the information is just so good and so fast. And, I know how good you are about social media and updates and things like that. And, some of your colleagues, it's the same thing. When there's a need for a change of gear, or even just a wrap up on the day, like, you're so quick. And I know Mission Belle has a social media follow that you can, if the need of having a bass rod arises, you're going to put that info out there,
100%.
or heavier or lighter tackle or wherever it may be.
Yeah, if we're making the switch from, the islands to going to offshore, it's like,
Totally.
okay, this is, this quiver.
This
Yeah.
is that.
And how do we follow? Where will where would you say is the best place to follow
It'll
along
be-
with updates on?
It'll
Mission
be
Belle?
Instagram.
Okay.
It'll be Mission Belle Sport Fishing.
Perfect.
All right. You don't do Facebook or anything, just straight Instagram.
We're getting it all switched over.
Getting all switched
yeah.
over. Okay. All right. Very good. Hey, while supplies last, pick up your copy of the 2025 CCA Sport Fishing Calendar at Fisherman's Landing, Seaforth Landing, Dana Landing, and your favorite tackle shop. By supporting CCA, you're working to protect the rights of all California anglers. And there's one line open you want to get through, 833-288-0973. Let's jump into the phone.
Sam and Irvine, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning. Great show. I have got to say I've never been on the Mission Belle, but I Googled it up, and it's a nice looking boat. I usually do the other boats at, out of Seaforth and Fisherman's Land. I look forward to going on the boat. I did go out on the Mexicat cruising the Coronados. There's a lot there. Cameron, are you going to be skipping the boat? I kind of heard that someone else is going to be doing it as well? Or
It's going to be me.
training on the islands.
It'll be me for the most part, and Steve wants to pick a few days, and then Tony also is going to drive the boat a little bit.
Cool.
He's been on the Mission Belle as long as Steve.
Yeah.
But primarily it's going to be me.
That's cool. And it's such, I mean, I remember fishing the Mission Belle at the Coronado Islands with Joel Ralston. That's how old I am, right? That's how, and it's just a classic ride.
It's just classic.
Yeah.
It's like the epitome of a Southern California local sport boat.
Yeah, it's super comfortable. I never knew that it was steel though.
Yeah, I had no idea it was the house was plywood glass.
Plywood glass.
Yeah.
So that's nice because it's not that keeps it real stable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that combination of the two.
Yeah, we cut a little bit of the hull out, putting a new transducer in, and it's 3/8 thick steel.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It is a tank.
And I would imagine it's in super good shape.
It is. Steve's done an awesome job of every year just, addressing what needs to be addressed and taking it the extra step to make it that much better.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And she cruises pretty much like all the other boats speed-wise.
Yeah, it's the same, You
Yeah.
could kick it up and run hard when you need to, but
Yeah.
9.5, 10 knots is kind of
That's the standard.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. All you
And a
need.
big, very
Well, I look
comfortable
forward to
galley
it
too.
this year for sure.
All right, well, jump aboard. And to book a trip, Cameron, how do we do it?
So Point Loma Sport Fishing is going to be the best avenue for charters and stuff like that. You can call me personally, or you can book through the landing.
Yeah. So you are going to do charters.
Yeah, charters are for sure.
Yeah. And that'll book through you.
You
You can book it on the Point Loma Sport Fishing website.
You can call the office and deal with them, or you can call me personally and we'll get you squared away.
Mission Belle Mafia still have a home on the Mission Belle?
Yeah,
All right.
I introduced myself to Reggie not that long ago, and we're going to work on a few dates, and I think that's one Steve might try to
There you go.
be there for.
Well, you should just be a passenger on that one. Finally get to mix it up with the boys.
Yeah, no, I'm going to work deck. Let's
Yeah.
do this.
I love it. That's cool. Well, hey, it's time to find out what's going on the water. It's time for our fishdope.com report by the Anglers Realtor, Yusef Husseini. Today, that catch report is sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get a premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. With more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays ahead of the rest, more same-day capacity, and the finest customer service. Stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street or check fishermansprocessing.com and be sure to make that reservation today. And we've got our fishdope.com reporter, Yusef, standing by. Good morning, Yusef.
Hey, guys. How we doing today?
Great.
Good morning.
What's going on?
Good. Oh, not a lot. We still got some really good winter fishing here up off the islands. The halibut bite is still going pretty well. As Brandon said, the sea bass have been showing up. It's been a little bit of a quiet deal here since December, but now some of the commercial guys are up on it, and it's been biting good from what we're hearing. We'll start up in Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is still biting pretty good too. They've got halibut up there, 50 to 65 feet of water, like 8 to 15 pound halibut. Same thing with up by Santa Monica Bay. There is some heavy smoke conditions up there from the artificial reefs up. Santa Monica Bay still has some pretty decent sand bass fishing, along with some sculpin and whitefish. From Palo Verde down to Long Beach, same game, halibut in 50 to 100 feet of water. The sea bass are up in there too, right off of the hard bottom. You want to look for some structure and fish the hard bottom near the structure where you're going to get picked up. Best bet is going to be on some live squid, just like they've been doing, really long leaders. Catalina is the name of the game. The sea bass and halibut up there are biting really well, just like I was talking about. Mainly on the backside, but there are fish in the normal spots at Eagle Rock, Pedestal, and Sentinel. And in Cat Harbor, we still got those same bonita on the front side from can dumps to condos. If you want to go out and take the kids and catch some little ones. Down below, the offshore boats are really doing some work on these bluefin that just showed up. I guess not doing some work, but finding them. And we should see some pretty interesting local bluefin fishing here soon, within 60 to 80 miles.
So cool.
Upper 500, 238, 1140 area.
Yeah, it's cool. Max, the new owner of the Pacific Voyager out of C4 Sport Fishing, going to run a 2-day trip. I think next week. Yeah, right. And go down there and try and find those bluefin. Hopefully they bite, right, Cameron?
I hope so.
Yeah,
Good
that'd be
weather,
cool.
so it's
perfect weather for it. Yeah.
That's what I heard. I know Ollie bumped into him on the way down. He's on a long trip right now. He's down, I think like Abre Ojos or something, but he took his new cat down, all aluminum cat, like a 44-footer, and they've been basically touring the coast, and now they're up into Baja.
Wow.
Awesome.
And he bumped into him on the way down there.
That's
So
cool.
there's pretty big schools.
Did they bite for him?
I don't think so. I think they kept going. They were.
I think they had, they're trying to get that boat south.
Otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Well, what's going on in the real estate world right now, Yusuf?
Real estate world is really picking up. People are starting to move. I think after this inauguration here, you're really going to see the market pick up. And there's a lot more things coming on the market now, so there's options again. You're not having to pick through the same stuff. And some of the listings that weren't moving are actually getting up and moving. We're getting offers and making things happen again.
All right. Well, if
it.
somebody wants that Angler's Realtor, wants to know more about the real estate game here in Southern California, how do we find you, Yusuf?
Give me a call on my cell phone, 619-277-2169. You can get me on social media at Cal Realty. Get me on my website at sportsmansrealty.com. Or if you want just a home evaluation with nobody bothering you, you can go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll get that right over to you.
All right. Free home eval at SoCalHomeEval.com. No strings attached. So you just do it. You know what your home's worth.
Yeah, it's killer. You literally just punch in your
I
address.
won't haunt you.
We've been following it. You just punch in your address and it just gives you a full update. Exactly what it's worth based on comps in your area and everything else. And you don't get any spam email from it. There's nothing. It's a really cool service and a great checkout for sure.
Yeah. Thanks, Yusuf. Appreciate that. We'll talk to you next Sunday.
Take care, guys.
Appreciate it very much. Hey, that report sponsored by Terrafin. Sea surface temperature charge. Focus your fishing on the most productive areas by using Terrafin sea surface temperature, chlorophyll, currents, and more. With Terrafin Mobile, you can access all your charts on your phone or any mobile device. Check terrafin.com for more info.
Hey, I want to mention next weekend is a couple of great weekends. I'll be traveling. My wife and I are going on a trip to Chile, down to Patagonia side of Chile there, and do a little field research and fly fishing. And
a lot of field research.
Yeah, a little brown trout action and some hiking and stuff like that. But Ricky and Corey will be here next Saturday with Captain Jim Hughes from the Cortez, the man. Rambo is going to be here. That's his annual visit. And, he usually comes bearing a 2-day trip giveaway. So,
He's the man.
yeah, you be aware of that. Next Saturday, that's him. And then next Sunday, Captain Taro Takeuchi from the Liberty will be here. So, great weekend of shows with Rick and Corey next Saturday and Sunday right here on Let's Talk Hookup on the app, on YouTube and Facebook, and 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, no doubt. When we come back, we got a lot more with Captain Cameron. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Hi, this is Christy Wheeler with Dawson and Associates Insurance, your full-service agency specializing in boat insurance, including charter, commercial, and personal use boats, business insurance, and travel insurance. We work hard to get you the most coverage for the best prices and guarantee the lowest rates available on all the travel plans we offer. So give us a call today at Dawson and Associates Insurance at 619-460-5615 for a free quote today.
Long-range fishing, nothing beats Shimano. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Come check out the Shimano Talica, the pinnacle of lever drag 2-speed reels. The Talica features Shimano's Hagani body when throwing jigs. The Shimano Trinidad is your top choice. With the extreme cranking power and Shimano's Super Free Spool provides extreme castability. You'll be able to put your jig in the Wahoo zone. For all your Shimano needs, visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. they become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Catine, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the In the Know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. And your San Diego County Ford dealers is the place to start. With a full lineup of vehicles and available powertrains, get your ideal combination of power and capability with gas, hybrid, or all electric. But more important than the power you choose is what you choose to do with it. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fishing. So much great info today, and boy, we're certainly excited to have everybody joining us on the phones. It's been a very busy morning this morning, but again, we just mentioned it. We lost one during the break, so a great opportunity to get through. If you want to talk to Cameron from the Mission Belle, 833-288-0973 is available right now.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, let's jump back in the phones.
You got it, man. How about this time? We talked to Ben, who's calling us from Chula Vista this morning on line 6. Good morning, or on line 5, excuse me. Good morning, Ben. Welcome to Let's Talk. Okay.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Great. Good morning.
Hey, just wondering if there's going to be any major changes to the boat this year, and who's going to be cooking on the boat. Any changes to deck handing, and what's maybe the single thing a person can do to be successful, out there.
So the galley's going to be completely new. Same seating arrangements and stuff like that, but just, recessed lighting and carpeting and new vinyl flooring. And
cool.
It's an update. It's needed. Karen's talked about cooking a few days. She was, it's kind of a package, her and Steve. And I haven't met the other.
Karen's the current chef on the boat.
Yeah, her and Steve are they're a team. They're a package. And then there's going to be some new faces for sure, but we've painted the boat. We've put new lettering, new vinyl on. The rails are done. Galley. That's probably what you'll see from the eye. And I think for a good trip, just the right attitude.
Yeah,
is huge. Listen to the crew and just be a sponge.
There again, you come from a lifetime lineage of being on boats that were just taken care of again to the highest level. You never look at Vagabond or you never look at the Angler and not see even when those boats are as far away from boat work as they've been, the end of the season, they all still look great. And I just know that the pedigree you've grown up with is that same attitude.
Yeah. And I love it. I love boat work. I'm into it. Plumbing, painting, whatever it is.
You've been doing it since you were a kid.
And it's just, it's my hobby, boats.
Yeah. Sure.
And so it's when somebody walks on the boat, I want, whoa, this is.
You want that first impression.
Yeah, this is nice and clean and all of those things. So
that's cool. I love it. Hey, we had a great text come through. It says, good morning, guys. What an awesome show. I love hearing the starts from On the Captains. I'd love to ask Cameron some lobster questions. What's the biggest lobster you've ever caught locally? What's your best score in a day? And what's your personal best fish from our local area? That's all from Jason in San Diego.
Ooh, personal. Biggest lobster, probably a 7.5 pounder.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Big one.
Now, do you get more for those or?
Not really. No. I mean, there's some if you want to chase local markets and stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's the same.
Because the Asian market likes big ones.
Yeah. When they ship overseas, the lobster is kind of trying to think of the right word. It's status.
Mm-hmm.
So if your daughter gets married and you serve California spiny lobster, it's whoa.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. So, everybody's always
East Coast lobster, New England lobster, the claws.
Yeah.
Why isn't that a prize like the California spiny and the New Zealand spiny lobster and the California spiny lobster are both like the prize of Asia?
You know, I'm not a super chef, but in the culinary world, ours are the most desirable. Whether it's there's less of them and it's kind of a commodity.
I was told there was a cultural thing because of the claws.
Yeah, claws is a thing for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no crabs or anything like that. They like the lobster.
Yeah, lobster is pretty much the only thing, that gets shipped overseas.
Yeah.
And
How
then,
much of your catch it gets shipped overseas? What percentage would you say?
10 years ago, it was 100%.
100%.
And it was always kind of a weird thing because here's this beautiful fishery with lobster, and this truck would come down from LA and drive them up, and they'd go on passenger flights overseas. And then COVID happened, and it was like no shipping.
Oh.
And we've been able to create, Mitch from Mitch's, John's brother. He said, we can sell these things. We can do this locally. Totally. And I would say close to half of what I catch now stays here local.
That's right.
And it's awesome.
Close to half.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mitch has a great lobster dinner, lobster lunch.
That's how we eat lobster.
Yeah, it's so good.
I bring a couple in and I just trade Rodrigo for a couple lobster
There
plates
you
and
go.
bring them home. It's the best.
Yeah.
That's rad.
It's really good. And reasonably priced, too.
For
lobster.
Yeah, for the few of us at the end of the dock fishing lobster, it's anyone that's in fishing for money, it's not a thing. It's because we love it. And it's fun to see people eating lobster up there, and then we're wheeling them up, and it creates the buzz and stuff. And that's why we do it.
That's good that the domestic market is strong again.
It's strong, yeah. The Padres are going to order 40 lobsters here. They're doing a big
What?
players
Hey,
dinner and
that's
stuff.
cool.
Yeah,
No kidding.
Yeah, it's cool.
And
That's cool.
Can you buy your lobster at Tunaville?
Yeah,
That's cool.
so it's real hard for us to sell lobster off the boat, to walk down and it's paperwork and certified scales and stuff. And that's kind of a big part of why we created Tunaville, because you could just walk over there and buy lobster from us.
That's cool.
awesome.
And I know Randy sells a lot of his lobsters to Point Loma Seafoods.
Yeah.
Point Loma Seafoods sells those.
Yeah, anyone locally that we can, get our product to. That's the goal.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Jeff and Mr. Viescio says, great show today. Which Cameron last year on the Vagabond, and he stayed late and got back late. Great trip. Are you strictly open party, or will you take charters?
We will.
And we already discussed
Yeah,
that.
we'll do charters.
Yeah. So how do you book a charter?
So you can call Point Loma Sport Fishing and book through there.
Okay.
And they'll set you up, or you can call me directly, and that's 619-693-2676.
So is it an open book right now? Wide open charter opportunities?
Yeah, we've just got everything situated.
So Mission Belle Mafia hasn't taken every trip yet.
Not yet.
Not
He
yet.
doesn't have
So you better
every
get
new
on.
moon,
You better get on it then.
It's coming. Yeah, I would call soon, because
I
we're going to
would
do the
think so.
PCS show and be up there. And
I think a lot of dates are probably going to get gobbled up. It's
Yeah.
a rad boat, and you got the right, they got the right guy behind the wheel. Like I would think if you want one, if you're listening to this and want to do a charter, I would probably try to sneak in before PCS show, because I'll bet a lot's going to get gobbled up then.
Yeah.
You're going to be up at PCS show?
We are, yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we'll be hanging out in the Point Loma booth.
In the Point Loma booth.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Well, speaking of charters, I thought this one was very fitting.
Yeah.
If I could slide it in there, and it was from Tony. He says, "Hey, everybody I know loves fishing offshore, but my favorite thing in the world is to fish yellowtail to Coronado Islands. If it's during offshore tuna season, but we charter the boat, is it still possible to go to the islands and target yellowtail?"
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do what you want, right?
Do what you want.
It's your charter.
Your charter, as long as you
That's
have
the-
passports.
Yeah, that's the key. Coronado Islands, you must have passport or passport card.
Valid.
Yeah, valid. That's very important.
That's
and
very
valid
important.
would be if it's got a week left on it, it's okay.
Yeah, it's not like flying.
It's
but-
not like flying, because flying, it's a lot of countries are either 3 or 6 months.
Correct.
Yeah, so as long as it's a valid current passport.
Yeah,
you're
but
good.
you charter the boat. We'll do whatever you want to
That's
do.
it. Your trip.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I love it.
Yeah. So this is an important question I want to answer, because this came up a few weeks ago and we talked about it before. But no name, no phone number, so no trip for you. A couple of shows ago, you talked about bringing back U.S. limits of reds from Mexico. Did you get an answer? Yes, I did. I talked to the man himself, the head guy for Department of Fish and Wildlife, who we heard here on the show. And he said, yes, with temporary importation permit filled out, you can bring back full Mexican limits of reds back into California waters, which would be 5 per person.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was somebody that posted, "Oh, you can only bring back California limits." That's totally untrue. Don't believe everything you read online. That's the most important thing you need to understand.
That's it,
That-
boy.
that is it.
No
Yeah.
truer words ever spoken.
Yeah. All right.
Well, this was a fun one. It says, hey, good morning, Pete, Rick, and Cameron. Cameron, congratulations on the purchase of the Mission Belle. You've had the fortune for coming up are some of the greats in our fleet. I can't wait to see you mix it up with Booger and Taro. We hope you can come do a seminar for the San Diego Rod and Rail Club later this year.
We're gonna set it up.
That's cool.
We'll set it up, Dwayne.
All right. That's cool. Let's jump back on the phone.
You got it. This time we're going to talk to John, and John's calling us from San Diego this morning. Good morning, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys, and congratulations, Captain Cam.
Thank you.
I'm wondering if you might have any tips or techniques to help catch bluefin at the Coronados.
That's
luck. You got to have a little bit of luck. And sticking with your guns as far as line size. You know, maybe if you haven't gotten a bite and you've been fishing 30-pound and common sense has dropped down in line, but you want to capitalize when you do get the bite. And I would say 30-pound small piece of fluorocarbon. I'm a big fan of mono with a 3-foot piece of fluorocarbon on it.
On top, how much mono?
I'm a 50-yarder. I like mono.
Yeah,
I am for it.
Why do you like mono?
It's user friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, is Spectra short top shots more stealthy? Absolutely. But, for the average fisherman or above average fisherman, it's just friendly. It's easy to use. You can cast. You're not worried about knots. You have stretch, and it's strong.
Yeah, it lays in the water real nice when you got 40 lines back there and everything's mono. Everything goes. And
if a tangle happens, your heart's not broken if you got to cut and retie.
Totally. Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
50 feet's a nice amount, too. You're going to get a good cast out of it. But, 1/4 pound spool of line is going to last you the whole season. And you can change your top shot every trip if you want. So you're always fishing nice, fresh line.
Totally. And Spectra's great for the right situation and the right angler and stuff like that. But we see a lot of times, they get their Spectra and they're fishing these short top shots. And it's hard, casting knots and all of that.
For sure.
Well said.
All right. Hey, let's jump back in the phones. Thanks a lot for the call.
Mike calling from Phoenix this morning on line number 3. Mike, good morning. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning. My
Hey, Mike.
question is for Cameron. Cameron, what trip are you going to run mostly? Is it going to be like a 5 to 5 or more typical 3/4 day?
So we're going to be 5:30 to 5 on schedule, but, we'll have 2 licenses on board. So might get in at 6:30
Gotcha.
and, it could be 8 o'clock.
Okay.
5:30, so when you come in.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was hoping.
The schedule is 5:30 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Correct.
But you can stay late if you need to do the
Yeah,
job.
I'm pretty good at that.
That's cool. Hey, Mike, nice to hear from you from Phoenix, listening to us on the Let's Talk Hookup app. Appreciate that very much. And Isabella from San Diego says, good morning, happy Sunday. How common has it become for white sea bass to show up at the Coronado Islands?
They've always been there.
Have they?
I mean, as long as I can remember in the stories and, hearing the anchor jobs in Smuggler's Cove and stuff like that, guys have caught sea bass forever. The average big catch, it's not very common, but they're there. Especially those guys dive and see them a lot.
They see them.
Yeah.
And so if you're there at the right time in the right place,
Yeah.
you may
right
get lucky.
cast, and absolutely.
Yeah. But it's not a common place. It's not, say, as common as you find something at Catalina or something like that.
Correct.
You can't really target them like you can at Catalina or
For
San
sure.
Clemente Island.
For sure.
Yeah. But you could get lucky.
And there's a lot of squid around this year. There's squid
Could
all the
change.
way down to the, the border, which we
Really?
haven't seen in a little bit.
When you're out lobster fishing, are you seeing it?
I don't see it as much where I fish, but I know some of the guys down in Imperial Beach and stuff, they'll pull a trap and it's, wedged with squid eggs.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bad sign for lobster fishing, but
Is that a deterrent for lobster if you're in an area that's got a lot of squid egg?
yeah, it seems like once the traps fill up, it's
Carpets the bottom.
Yeah.
Not too into
Yeah.
that.
They're not crawling through
no, they just stay in their caves.
it. Have you figured out how to get a lobster to crawl out of its cave yet?
A lot of bait.
Yeah, good bait. Yeah, good bait cures all.
Yeah.
Does fresh bait make a difference?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a big difference in fishing, like hoop netters. Now there's not sardine at the receiver, but it's the ultimate. A fresh sardine, mush, chud, It's nothing yet.
I think it's not a secret anymore.
How critical is where you put your trap on the ground? You know what I mean? Like, does good bait cover enough that they're going to come find you, they're going to crawl and get to you, or like pretty precision, like that thing lives on this stone and I got to land right on top of it? Like, do you see much of a difference? Or
No, yeah.
Okay.
You know, you can generally put a trap anywhere in the kelp bed or somewhere like that and see color, a lot of lobster shorts and stuff like that. But there's certain ledges and, you know, caves and holes and stuff where it's a big difference of, you know, catching one legal or maybe catching 5 legal in a trap.
Sure.
All right. Hey, interesting quick note here from one of our listeners. Again, no trip for you, no phone number, no name. So the Mola Mola sunfish is one of the most interesting fish in our water. They are the largest bony fish in the world. Didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
There are several different species worldwide. The Monterey Bay Aquarium has them in their large open ocean tank. And I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
I haven't been up
that
there
is
in
a
a
big boy in
long
there.
time. Yeah. That's largest bony fish in the world.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Hey, I had another fun text. Says, great to hear, Captain Cameron. I go on 10 to 12 trips a year, and fishing with Cameron on the stern of the Vagabond is one of my most memorable experiences. With your experience on the Angler, the San Diego, the Vagabond, 3 of the best boats that have some of the most loyal followings, I was wondering what in your mind you were going to do to provide that same style of following that's from DJ and San Diego. Can't wait to come fishing with you, Captain Cam.
Mr. Board. You know, I think everyone that's fished with me, it's just going to be the same thing, same caliber of what you see on the Vagabond or American Angler. Friendly faces, similar faces, good attitudes, and just people that want to have a good time. That's going to be, you know, the family. Brian always preached the family, and it's, you know, American Angler. I haven't worked there in 8 or 9 years, and still go to every Christmas party. You know, Tara, all the alumni it's still family.
Wow.
That's awesome.
You know, now we just have kids, so it's a little different. But
do the kids get to come to the party?
Are you kidding me? Auntie Lori, there's presidents.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of which, Lori, Ray, and Brian will be in here while I'm gone with you guys coming up the beginning of February. So watch for that. Let's Talk Hookup with the entire Angler crew.
That's such a fun trip. It's
a
such a fun show,
crew.
man. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Cool.
Lots of good shows coming up while I'm gone.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
doubt.
for sure. Hey, let's jump back in the phones, Rick.
All right, you got it. Let's talk to Jim. Jim's calling us from National City this morning. Good morning, Jim. Welcome. Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. You know, I first encountered Cameron way back there when he was on the American Angler, and then later when he was the second ticket on the San Diego. So I fished a couple of different times with Cameron, and we are so fortunate to have this guy take over the Mission Belle. We all know how great Steve was, and Cameron is in that same vein.
Yeah.
I mean, he is not a businessman. Cameron is a fisherman. And I mean, he's a businessman, but this guy loves fishing, and we are so fortunate to get him on the Mission Belle. I love that boat. You know, we know how solid the San Diego is, and for me, the best kept secret was the Mission Belle, because I was able to get on there. And I mean, it's been a great boat for me for the last few years. And you know, I've mentioned on your show several times the quality of that one-day fishing trip out of San Diego. I think is impeccable. Just awesome. It's and we're great to have Cameron. I encountered you down on the American Angler first, and then on the San Diego, Cameron.
I
And,
remember.
you know, I met him years later on the San Diego, and the guy still remembered my name. And you know, that's part of the training from Brian down there on the American Angler, and Booger also on. You know, when you come on their boat, he wants all their help, all their deckhands, all their second tickets to remember your name. And well, anyway, Cameron, I feel very fortunate. I'll see you on many trips on the Mission Belle. And one other thing I wanted to mention, Pete, I booked that trip on the Liberty, that 2-day on the 20th, July
20th on the Liberty. Yeah,
Let's
it's at fishermanslanding.com right now. It's up.
You know, Big Jim, people
Yeah,
not
I
remembering, people
booked
not
it
being able to forget
yesterday,
your name
and,
isn't always a great thing. You know what I mean? It might be, oh, there's that damn
But Brian
Big Jim again.
Kiyahara is the master, man. I remember
Last year when we were up at Katmai Lodge with Brian and Viola, he knew everybody's name on the staff and in the group and everything. Like in the first day,
it was law.
I've been fishing up there for years. I don't know anybody's name, right?
It was law on the Angler. You had one day.
Yeah.
And I remember
part of the deal.
We had a tangle. I was pretty new to the boat, and he goes, "Who lost their fish?" And I was like, "Oh, I think it was Mike."
That
or
guy
something.
over there. Yeah.
He goes, "There's no mics on the boat." And from that point on, it was like he would test you.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
What
yeah.
you
had to know.
What a sign of respect for your people. I love that. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, it's really good. Hey, Jim, nice to hear from you, and look forward to many trips seeing you on the Mission Belle for sure. Dave in Anaheim says, are you doing open party and private charters, and how many anglers on the Mission Belle? We talked about that already, but when you do an open party, you're going to do 30.
Do 30.
But what's a perfect number on the Mission Belle for a charter?
30.
30.
It could be 10. It could, whatever.
Okay, whatever you want.
Yeah, all groups are different. Sometimes you fish with 10 guys, it's kind of boring. You fish with 15 or 20, now it's, there's mix up.
I think you could legitimately put double that amount of people on that boat and still be fine.
Yeah, we're COI'd for 50.
That's what I'm saying. Like 30 people on that boat is extremely comfortable. So, which I think was a great move. So even at full max load, you're going to have a very comfortable day, plenty of room at the rail, plenty of room for your gear. Like, I thought that was a great move.
Yeah. The stern's huge.
Yeah.
It is just
really
a
is.
big open.
How wide? What is the
20?
Beam? It's 20?
Yeah. So it's
20 by 65.
Yeah. So it's square.
Wow.
In a sense.
Yeah.
That's great.
But that's that big steel rig, right?
Yeah.
That's why it rides so solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
Speaking of the boat, this was a quick text. Says, hey, I'm very curious how many scoops of bait your bait tanks hold, and what's a general cost to get to come fishing with you this year?
I think we're 70 scoops aside. I haven't even scooped. I haven't been on the boat since I was 14. So we got a little, there's some things we got to figure out.
Yeah, you figure it out.
I love it. Well, as you can hear, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Let's Talk Hookup app, on the Facebook and YouTube live at 97.3 The Fan, including finding out who's going fishing with Cameron. You stay tuned. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way.
Hey everyone, James Holst here with Norsk Lithium, the official battery partner of Let's Talk Hookup. Here at Norsk Lithium, we have two goals that drive who we are and what we do. The first is to make the highest quality, longest lasting lithium batteries available with a complete lineup of batteries that include 12, 24, 36 volt and starting batteries. Second, in addition to offering a 10-year warranty on all Norsk Lithium marine batteries, we provide amazing customer service before and after the sale. Check us out online at norsklithium.com. That's NORSK lithium.com, or call us at 831-232-9063. Or to see Norsk Lithium batteries in person, stop by the Trolling Motor Doctor in Lakewood or Anglers Marine in Anaheim and see why Norsk Lithium batteries should be in your boat.
No matter where the adventure takes you, we've got you powered. Norsk Lithium.
This is Bob Hoots at Costa Sunglasses. Visual signs are a critical part of my fishing program, from bay bass to bluefin. I wear Costas to see what's out there. Costas are built with advanced polarization technology with our 580 lens, designed to cut through the sun's glare while providing enhanced color to see more fish. Costa was founded by a group of anglers wanting a high-performance lens for every fishing application. Costa has a West Coast style frame and lens for your adventures. CostaSunglasses.com.
Hello, this is Captain Mike Totter from Searcher Sport Fishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from a day and a half to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at searchersportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's searchersportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming you aboard.
Get ready for the most exciting outdoor show of the year.
the giant 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Fishing Tackle Boat and Travel Show, March 6th to the 9th at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Check out hundreds of sport fishing exhibitors, manufacturers, tackle dealers, fishing boats, and fishing resorts taking up all 7 halls at the fairgrounds. 217,000 square feet, plus fantastic seminars and free kids trout pond. Backed by popular demand, the PCS show also has freshwater to cover bass and trout. Learn from some of the top names in the sport fishing industry, from catching giant bluefin, swordfish, calico bass, and more. Take advantage of incredible show specials from major tackle retailers and boat dealers. Talk to the top fishing travel destinations. 4 full days, Thursday, March 6th to Sunday, March 9th. The 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing, Fishing Tackle, Boat and Travel Show at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Don't miss it.
Hey, this is Captain Benny Florentino, owner-operator of Coastal Charters. Just want to announce that I'll be running the Camus 26 hybrid boat from West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa. Hybrid being a center console with bay boat features. The boat features a Michael Peters stepped hull that'll give both myself and my guests a comfortable dry ride. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa will be carrying the 26 hybrid, 28 hybrid, and also a 34 cat. Heck, they even have some great looking bass boats. But if you have any other questions, feel free to call Nick Kelly or Kyle Mesa at West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa, and we'll see you on the water.
Take it from Captain Benny Florentino. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa is your source for Camus boats, as well as Parker boats, Yamaha outboards, and now Mercury outboards. Sales and service, the finest you can find. Go see Nick and the guys at West Coast Marine on Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check westcoastmarine.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here. It's time to find out who's winning and going fishing on board the Mission Belle.
No
with
coin
Cameron.
toss.
No coin toss today because there's a win on both sides thanks to Cameron. Texter side, congratulations, Jason in San Diego. And from the callers, Darren and Menifee, you guys are both going to get to go experience that great Mission Belle trip. And, man, brand new with Captain Cameron. So excited.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to go experience the Mission Belle at a Point Loma Sport Fishing, how do we do it?
So you can book online, pointlomasportfishing.com. You can call the office at 619-223-1627. And if you want to book a charter or talk about the boat, you can call me direct at 619-693-2676.
All right, number again for the charter?
619-693-2676.
All right.
And leave a message because we're in the boatyard right now. So I may not be answering, but I'll call you back.
You're either
in the evening.
pulling lobster traps or in the boatyard.
Yeah, we're busy.
Yeah, you got a lot
Good
going
busy.
on. Just leave a message. You'll get back to them.
Yep.
It's great. Thanks,
Great
Cameron.
job, Cameron.
Well,
We're
hey,
really
thanks for
excited
being
you.
here. Super excited. Hey, thanks to Jeff for manning the phones. Thanks to Adam for manning the app. And most of all, thanks to you out there for being with us. Next Saturday, Captain Jim Hughes from the Cortez, and next Sunday, Taro Takeuchi from the Liberty. Thanks for listening today. We'll see you next week right back here on 97.3 The Fan, YouTube, Facebook Live, and the Let's Talk Hookup app.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Annie Heilbrun here. We've got you covered.
Good stuff, boys. Have a good week.
The Annie and Elston Show, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday on 97.3 The Fan.
An Odyssey Sports Station. This is You Better You Bet postseason countdown to kickoff. Your game plan for postseason glory begins here.
We're going to bring you even more bets than usual.
Lines are moving, things are shaking. From sides to totals to props, it's BetQL's You Better You Bet postseason countdown to kickoff, presented by BetMGM. Here are your hosts, Nick Costos and